Hello everyone, Yensid Organist here, and welcome back to another episode of OrgelCraft. Hope you all are having a good day today. So, just want to do a little, PSAs. PSA is the right term. Going into the next couple of weeks, I am entering the busiest time of the year for me. And so, just know that, episodes may be on the shorter side, they may be non-existent. I'm trying to keep this going, and I will do my best, but real life takes precedence, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the next few weeks. So, just wanted you to be aware. The long recording content, that will still be coming out, so you will have stuff to look forward to there. But don't think that if OrgelCraft disappears for the next couple of weeks, don't think I'm burnt out. I literally don't have enough time. And that is the case for today's episode, even, because I have been working on a whole bunch of projects. It has been spring break, and I'm not entirely sure where my spring break went. I got a lot accomplished. It just went by really fast, and did not have the time that I thought I was going to work on this episode. My plan had been to build a power plant over here, which is going to involve a whole bunch of terraforming, bringing this coastline along here, filling all of this in, and whatnot. And as I started looking at all the work that was going to go into that, I realized I did not have enough time left in the week to do that. So I pivoted, and I was like, well, we can start designing houses. Let's figure out the design for a modern house, and then that's something we can just do together. And then I had a better idea that took hold, and I'm actually really, really excited about it. So that's what we're going to do today, and I don't know how far we're going to get, but we will do what we can. So in the last episode, we decided we were going to reroute the river. And the idea that I had as I was thinking about everything here was that we should make a river walk. I always love that feature that you find in a lot of different cities that have rivers flowing through them, by them, and to just have like a green space walking bike path that goes along next to it, so you can, appreciate that. So I think that is what we are going to start working on today, which means I still have a whole bunch of terraforming to do. But yeah, so what I want to do to start out is basically, I want to actually start out by clearing the trees. So this whole dark oak forest here is going to go. So I'm going to get all of that cleared out, and then we need to figure out a path for the river. I mean, I know we have a path, but we need to actually make something that, looks natural and follows a good path, and is also something that we'll be able to build around. So, first order of business, clearing the trees. don't know what it is, but terraforming, I just always really seem to enjoy it. What makes me say that? I don't know. Just something that came to mind. Anyway, it had been my intention to clear out this entire forest, but it was taking a little too long, so I figured I would just pull the forest back for now, and then we would finish this project at a later date. So, what I want to do now is figure out exactly where we want this river to go. But before we do that, I actually want to take a brief look at another river that I made, because this is not the first time I've done this. Back in Season 3, I built this new pavilion based on living with the land at Epcot, and there was actually a river that goes through it, because if we take a look at Mini HUD, you notice that the biome is a river. This is not a river. I decided I did not want the river running underneath, and so made my own, connecting the waterway over there. And I kind of learned, I learned some things from doing this. This is the first time I had ever made a river. And the thing that was a bit of an issue when I was doing this was properly terraforming the terrain around it, because I kind of started at, the initial water level and then expanded from there. And so when we start pulling this river apart, I want to figure out what our course is, but then figure out what level we're actually going to start the river and start the terraforming from there. So let's get a basic line for this river drawn out, and then we'll go from there. So I kind of want to follow this line that's right here, and we're going to carve that in up here. Let's maybe go too deep. I don't know, we could maybe do it on the surface. Yeah, but we're gonna have to check all of this as we go. So I think for starters, let's mostly go ahead and follow the wool. I think that will be a good place to start. And then we can edit our shape from there. So just cut through here. And then, oh, it appears that I have missed. So let's start curving this a little bit. Okay, so I'm already way off the line because we're getting way too close to that. And I want to make sure we have room on both sides. So let's go back here. And let's maybe start our curve here. And then let's maybe have it go a little bit more this way. Yeah, let's go on a diagonal for a little bit. And then let's ease this out. Let's start curving it back. Hi, cow. Sheep. Let's take a look at this line and see. Alright, so we are definitely kind of cutting a line there, so we're going to need to smooth that out a little bit. But I think we will keep going this way for now. And then let's start angling back here. A little bit more this way. And then we'll straighten out. And maybe let's dip back a little bit. gentle curve here. Maybe a little bit more. And then we can start our curve going this way. And before we finish this off, let's see. So let's do this. Let's do a little bit of a barrier here. Yeah, and then we'll just head back here until we meet up with what we have already done, and that's over there. So we'll ease this out a little bit. Alright, and let's take a look at that. So this, we definitely want to fill in this way. And sleep. And then let's see what we've got here. I feel like this part might need to be a little bit more rounded. So let's take some of that off. And then probably fill that back in just to get our shape. And maybe take a couple of those blocks off. And then where else do we need to adjust? This is probably okay. Yep, I think that's okay. And then we need to tweak this diagonal section over here. So let's see here. I think that maybe let's bring this out this way a little bit. Cow, you're gonna meet a much pointier object in a minute. So that gives that a little bit more shape there. And then we can continue straight, and then here we probably want to pull this back a little bit to smooth that transition out. And then how does that look from the air? Yeah, that looks a little bit more natural. I feel like this is a good line all the way through. We'll have to work that a little bit. Okay, so then the plan from here is I think that I want to go get some more wool. And the real question will be, where did I put my light blue wool? Hopefully it's over here. Is it in here? It is. All right, let's grab a few stacks of that. And then we'll use this as our line. And unlike the first time we went through, I'm going to put this much closer together so that I have an easier line to follow as I'm digging this out. So we'll get all of this done. Sheep, you are in the way. Go that way. You're supposed to run away from me when I punch you, not towards me. That one was right in line. And so then once we get this established, then I'm going to start digging down to the lowest level of the river, and then we're going to want to figure out how deep and how wide we want this to go. Glad I brought multiple stacks of this. Let's maybe do that. Nope. Wrong on both sides. I think we're going to take that out, and then I think we'll essentially pull this straight on a diagonal. We might have to adjust that as we go. Okay, so that is that line done. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now let's go study a Minecraft river. So it looks like most of this is just 1 or 2 blocks deep. It does go a little bit deeper there, and maybe down to 3 here. I think that, because this is 3, right? Yeah, this is 3 blocks. I think 3 blocks would probably be a decent depth for this. So, let's see where we want to dig down to. So that's 1. That's 2, and that's 3. And if we pull up at mini-HUD, we are at Y60. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and basically dig out under this path that we made. And just establish where our riverbed is going to be. And then we will expand from there. Welcome to the canyon that is our riverbed. So I have gone through and cleared everything out down to the lowest layer of the river. And then I also went along and filled in a lower layer of dirt, because this is all going to be dirt and possibly mud, and then of course we'll add some other details in there as well as we go. So the next part of this plan is going to be starting to figure out how wide we want the river to be, and am I going to have water pouring in on my head if I do this? No. Okay, how about there? Yes, there I will have water pouring in on my head. So if we look at our river, so this narrow point here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks wide. If we come over here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks wide. Yeah, and then everywhere in between. So we'll certainly have some variation on that, but we're going to start it fairly uniform, and then we'll adjust from there. So I think what I want to do, since we're going 3 deep, is I think the lowest layer we're going to want to be 3 wide or so. So what I'm going to do is just come along here and start clearing out an area, and then, you know, once that's done, then I'll go back and just clear upwards everything that we're going to need. And I'm not going to be overly precise with this. You know, we said we want to have some variation in there. So, like, there will be places that I'll carve a little bit more back. Probably won't ever do any less than 3 wide. Oh, yay, the beacon kicked in. But this will give us a good basis to work from. So let's get all the way up here to this little bit of a straight section. which, there it is. I was going to say, I thought it was closer than this, but yeah, so we'll pull that back, and then let's do the same thing on the other side. And again, we don't have to be overly precise with this. Just kind of getting that rough shape, and of course we can always tweak as we get a little bit further along here. But yeah, we just want to make sure that all of our edges are, or all of our corners are rounded off so that we don't have too many sharp edges. We want to avoid that. But yeah, so we'll bring this down here. We could maybe have it a little bit wider there, and then bring it back along to there. All right, so yeah, so this looks like a pretty good basis for this. So I need to take this the rest of the way down and then clear out everything above. Okay, so bottom-up theory was good on paper, not so great in actual execution. It might be better if I was not working with an area of terrain that was quite so deep. But yeah, I can't actually reach the top in most places here, so that makes it a little bit difficult. So, hey! You just caused me to waste a rocket. Jerk. So I think what I'm going to do is just start carving a much wider swath until I get down to riverbed level, and then we'll work on smoothing terrain out from there. I think this is probably going to be a much larger terraforming project in this area, just because we'll need to deal with the fact that our river level is so far below street level, which is going to be probably here. I'm probably going to do it up a block, but yeah, we still have a ways to go. So I am going to continue working on excavating this whole area, and then yeah, I'll bring you back when some more progress has been made. The second layer of our riverbed is done as we go on a little bit of a trench run. And now, in a move that I hope I'm not going to regret, I'm going to start filling in the water. And I say I hope I'm not going to regret this because I'm hoping that it doesn't make the rest of the work more difficult. But I think this will be a good way to go, because it will, it'll save me from having to do it all later, I think, is what I'm going for here. Yeah, because I think it'll be easier to do this layer by layer rather than trying to fill it all in at the end. I don't know. It might not matter, but yeah. So this is layer 1. We have 3 layers to do, so I've got a lot more to go. Our river is finished. Well, ish. Oh, I see I missed a few spots of mud. Yes, so we've got our shape all throughout here, and I think it looks good. I think the width is good. I like the variation. Yeah, we might want to do a little bit more. It is fairly uniform in width through here, so we might want to come and adjust that a little bit. It's also a little straight here, so we might have to do something about that. But yeah, I am happy with this. So we need to fill this in, and then we need to... we're not going to fill all of this in. Probably what we'll do is fill in up to the circle and then call that good. So let me get that done real quick. And oh, hey, look, floating grass. How about that? Yeah. So let me get these parts of the river filled in and get the wool taken down, and then I think we're going to call that for today. You all get to watch as I practice my parkour skills. Would you believe that I have actually made it the whole way along here without falling off? If you've seen me do parkour other places, you probably don't believe it, but it's true. I made it all the way across. I almost fell off several times. Of course, now I still have the stuff up in the sky. Problem for another day. There is that, and of course then I have to clean all of that up. So, there we go. We have successfully beaten the river. You could say we've routed it. Or we've rerouted it. You know you come to this channel for bad jokes. But, yeah. So that is a good start to this project. Obviously, it is a long way to go. I, as usual, did not fully account for the scope of this project because, we're gonna have to pull this way back so that it is a gentle slope down. Honestly, probably out to what we have already cleared. And of course, I was planning a residential neighborhood over here, so I don't know how all of that is going to work. But that is a problem for future Yensid. Present Yensid is tired and ready to get this episode done and go to bed. So, hope you all have enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to give it a like and share it with your friends. If you haven't already, I would encourage you to subscribe and make sure you click that little notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest posts. Thanks for watching. See you real soon.